Abraham Lincoln, the Gettysburg Address, 1863. I remember the air that day, crisp, heavy with the smoke of battles that had scarred these fields just months before. The dead still lay in the soil beneath our boots, though buried, their presence was everywhere. I felt it in the silence of the crowd, in the way the mothers clutched their sons' hands tighter, in the weary faces of soldiers who had lived when their brothers had not. I was not a man of many words, not in speeches like this. I preferred letters, quiet thoughts written in the solitude of my study. But this moment demanded more. The Union had bled too much to be held together by silence. As I stood on the platform, the eyes of the nation upon me, I felt the weight of history pressing down. I had been called a fool before, a tyrant, even a traitor. I had been told this Union was finished, that a house divided could not stand. And yet here I was in Gettysburg, on ground consecrated not by my words but by the sacrifice of thousands. I did not want to speak of glory nor of victory. What glory could be found in brothers killing brothers? What victory could erase the grief etched into every face before me? No, I wanted to remind them of why we still fought. So I began. 7 years ago. The words were plain, simple, rooted in the promise of 1776. A reminder that this nation had been built not on conquest, but on the radical idea of liberty and equality. As I spoke, I did not see politicians or generals. I saw farmers, widows, children. Ordinary people, waiting to know if the sacrifices made in this war had meaning. I told them the truth, that the world would not remember what I said here, but it would never forget what the soldiers had done. And yet I hoped they would remember. Not me, not my voice, but the idea that democracy could endure, that government of the people, by the people, for the people, would not perish from this earth. When I finished, it was brief, barely 2 minutes. Some thought it too short, too plain. Yet I believe in the strength of simplicity. Words do not need length to carry weight, they need truth. As I stepped down, I knew I had not ended the war. The bloodshed would go on, perhaps for years more. But maybe, just maybe, I had reminded them what we were fighting for. Not just a union of states, but a union of ideals. Gettysburg was not just a cemetery, it was a mirror. It forced us to see ourselves, our pain, our divisions, and our hope. And in that reflection, I prayed that Americans would find the courage to endure and the wisdom to heal. I was weary that day, as I was most days. But in my heart I knew this, the struggle was not in vain. For as long as the idea of liberty lived, so too would the United States of America.